Let's do it. You can 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 do it.
You can do it.
You see what I put up with.
What you think, Barry?
You know, my wife is so tired, she's talking to a bear behind the chair.
Hey, I'm talking to someone.
Someone that's very lovely.
He is very delicious.
Very delicious. So you cheating on me with a bear?
He's great.
That's how you know being tired, when your jokes is actually funny. Alrighty. What's going on, Muvminters? How you doing?
Yo, you were watching way too much Friendship.
It's Friends.
No. Oh yeah, you were watching way too much Friends.
How you doing?
Yo, you gotta stop channeling Joey.
I wish I did channel Joey. I might have had a little bit more fun in my life besides hardships in my job. Joey's awesome.
He awesome as a friend.
But you see, at least he was courageous to even go, talk to women. I wasn't as courageous.
Joey was very courageous as what he was. And the thing is, you know what? I will say one thing. I did like that he was able to put forth like at least the effort. Like I said, as a friend, I think he was awesome. But as like a boyfriend, I noticed that he had like a trend.
Well, I mean, we all have our faults. Remember last week we was talking about regrets, so
Yeah, regrets.
Regrets, yes. So we all have our faults, but at least, like I said, I wish I kind of had his courage to speak to girls. Unlike now, like I think I have too much courage sometimes. Mm-hmm. But I mean, at the time, like I'm married, so it's nothing I can do. After the fact that I got married, so I can't go out there.
Yeah, the best example of that is because you know why. And I realized this with dudes, is like when guys get hitched or like they have somebody, is like they were first a deflated balloon, so they didn't know how to like really do much. And then when they get inflated with like just a little bit more ego, then they can kind of like rule the world.
You see, that's the lesson. You gotta have some ego, that'll pull you through when you talking to women. So, So Jenny.
Yes.
Hi.
Hey.
The bear behind you.
What's up, Barry?
You can tell she's tired, She literally has a bear in her chair while she's running the camera.
He's propping me up. You didn't know that?
And then I got Teresa here with us. Hi, Teresa.
Hi.
She's getting married.
Somebody's getting married.
Woo!
Next year.
Next year.
That's because you just got engaged. Of course it's going to be next year.
Well, we're not going to get into that because, there's plenty of stories when I hear men and women engaged and like 40 years later. Yeah.
If you ever want to know Christal Clear's favorite movie, is a 7-year engagement.
5 year.
Oh, 5.
5-year engagement.
5-year engagement.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies. I love that movie. But I might watch it again tomorrow. Just to give you a heads up.
Oh yeah, we're watching that and Big Daddy. Big Daddy is on the docket.
Yeah, I just told her a secret that I had never seen Big Daddy, so I gotta go watch it. So Jenny, you had a suggestion for me.
Yes.
For this for the story time.
Yes.
And what would you like me to talk about?
I guess give like some advice to our young male viewers out there. Some sound, logical advice.
You sure you want advice from me?
Look, I've been hearing advice from a certain somebody who is now not on social media.
Look at her face.
Who is now apparently not on social media, but if anybody knows who that is, they know who that. If you know, you know. And the advice he's be giving dudes, I kind of like no. So some sound advice would probably be good for.
I would be happy to give anybody advice. Don't write to me because I'm not gonna write back. But I just want. So all right. So give me a topic. Like what do you want me to address? Like specifically.
Specifically?
Yeah, like really my opinion on, that I can give to young men out there that, that.
Oh, so here's a question.
Okay.
Okay. So you talked about that you wasn't as confident in your younger years.
I was not confident.
So you now, what would you tell your younger self about being able to, I guess, talk to females?
All right.
Or talk to somebody you're interested in?
All right. What I would say, definitely, one of the lessons that I learned now compared to back then, back then when I used to like a girl, I mean, there's like probably maybe about 4, 5, 6 girls I liked in my lifetime, probably just in high school alone, let alone junior high. But one of the things, like I said, I was scared to talk to them because, I was afraid of rejection. But one of the lessons that I learned from, basically being with you and gaining the confidence that I have with, even just conversing with women, is that I'd rather get the rejection over with, so therefore I can move on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I believe my boy Blizz, he said it best. Like, it's better, I forget how he said it. He said, it's better to know it than to wonder what if throughout the years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the what if factor, I think, would drive people more crazy. Not just, young men, but a lot of young girls, too. Like, the what if factor, you just let it go, and then all those years you thinking, what if? And it actually could drive you crazy, because it drove me crazy a couple of times, too. So like I would tell my younger self, get rid of that what if factor. Go for it. Tell the girl that you like her. And if she says no, then you know what I mean? So you can, it hurt for a while, but then you can move on with it and then go ahead and just move on with your life and trying to find somebody that's more suitable for you.
Yeah.
Not everybody is suitable for you. One thing I learned is that the girls that I liked back in high school, junior high, believe it or not, compared to you, I'm glad I never got with them, because you were the one that opened up I guess, Pandora's box of me becoming the person who I am. I mean, not only confident enough to speak to women, but confident enough just to speak up, and confident enough to even do this story time, because you saw me when I first did this, I didn't know how to present myself. So, it just opened up a Pandora's box.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I talk too much anyway. So that kind of opened up that Pandora's box too. So she's to blame. So, but yeah, that's what I would say to myself. So just get it over and done with, so you can move on if you get rejected. And you might be surprised. She might actually like you. That's what, the crazy part. That was the real crazy part. My brother told me, he said one time when I was in school that he found out that a lot of the girls that knew me in school actually liked me and wanted to get with me. And I didn't know that. But of course I was too scared to present myself in that situation. So I kind of lost out on it too. But it all worked out, because I've been married to you for 14 years, been with you for 17, 3 kids, got a house, and, got all the fixings, got my friend over here, and she's getting married. So it's like, it all worked out.
Yeah.
And the one thing I say too is, regardless whether you get rejected or not, it's all going to work out, man. Just don't harbor on the fact that you got rejected.
Mm-hmm.
So.
How do you view modern women?
Well, how I view modern women, I love women, period. I think women are probably second to the most beautiful thing that God has ever created. First one's me. I'm sorry, I gotta take the credit, right there. I'm the first beautiful thing that God created.
You broke the mold.
I know a lot of the people who are watching this, like, have you looked at yourself? But I gotta have some confidence in myself, regardless if you agree with me or not. But women are beautiful. Like, I love women, period. I love how y'all think. I love the emotional thing behind the makeup of your mind. Like, how you judge things emotionally, even though sometimes it does drive me crazy. But at the same time, it's always good to have a little spice in your life. So, and like, women are beautiful, all shapes and sizes. Even the ones I'm not really attracted to. It doesn't mean I won't spend no time with them. There's a lot of women out there that I'm not even attracted to, that I just love them so much because they have a beautiful mind, and some of them even make me laugh the most too. I find that women are the best, especially like when you're down and you feeling like really down and depressed on some things. I find that women in my lifetime seem to brought me back to the focus of not leaning in my depression more than a guy does. Because guys tend to not like, they don't want to, I don't know, not saying all guys, but some guys just don't like to get into other man's emotions and feelings, especially when the dude's feeling down and he starts crying. You know what I mean? There's a couple instances, I'm not gonna say who, but when they start crying, I kind of feel like weirded out. I'm like, dude, I'm a dude, you know what I mean? But it's okay to cry though. But it's just like, it's still genetically, it just feels weird. So like when you, like, a lot of my personal stuff. So when I get emotional, it's like that's the bond that we have because we're husband and wife. But there's not even on the husband and wife tip, there's things that like me and you, we bonded on, and it's just like, it's a beautiful thing. I think women tend to hold things more emotionally to help the guy rebound. So women are beautiful. And even the ones that, like I said, I'm not attracted to, even the ones that I am attracted to, even the ones that, drive me crazy and not in a good way, they're all beautiful in their own way. So that's my idea of modern women. Now, do I think that, that they're different from like the older generation? Of course. Everything changes over time. Everything is updated just like a computer, you know what I mean? So it's like, we go modern women don't mean that they're either better than the older women, but it's just the updated of time of how things go on these days. Do I like how relationships are between men and women are now? Not to my liking, because there are a lot of things that's going on that's not, I guess, traditional. But then again, I'm a traditional person, so I can't say what they're doing is wrong, you know what I mean? Because I was raised up in the 80s and through the 90s, so I'm gonna have that mindset. So I can't say what they're doing is wrong. That's the way they're doing it, that's the way they're doing it. But, we all have our preferences. So hopefully that kind of answers your question.
Actually does, actually.
So, yeah, love you. Women, like I said, love them. Love women. Love women. So, hey, up.
Oh, here's a question.
Okay.
And this is not because we saw like the Big Bang Theory and with Howard, and he had a particular type of woman that he wanted, but Bernadette was in the picture. And he didn't want to continue going with Bernadette, or he didn't call her back.
Oh, yeah. I remember that episode. Yeah.
What would you tell a guy that has like very over the top or a woman has very over the top standards?
Stop being picky. Stop being picky. Look, would you rather be with, from women's perspective? Because I tend to see that more on the lady side, like they're really picky about what kind of man they want. Would you rather have a man that looks so good, so delicious, like you just want to, lick his abs off his stomach, kind of delicious, like he's a prime rib? But would you rather have him treat you like dirt rather than somebody that's not as perfect in the look department but treat you like a queen? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I get it. Like, we all have our preferences. I have my preferences. I have my preferences. Like, one of my things was I like how they look at women. It doesn't necessarily have to be just black women, didn't necessarily have to be white women or Asian or whatever. Like, my first relationship was with a black woman. You know what I mean? And just so happened, I saw you, and and the rest was history there. And you're Puerto Rican. You know, I used to have a thing for an Asian woman when I used to live in Savannah. So it's like it wasn't a race preference. It was just, that was just I liked the exotic thing, like women that kept me interested in. However, even though there were plenty of women that I were interested in, I saw some of them that didn't treat me well. So I do that from the jump, and I got off of that, off of that situation, because I'm not going to allow somebody to treat me bad just because you're cute, you know what I mean? And that's what I see a lot of, like I go back to like a lot of some of these women, they're too picky. They rather be with somebody that looks good or whatever, rather than being with maybe a guy that's not really a chiseled, marble Greek god kind of body, but that guy might treat you better than the guy who looks good. And I just don't see how that makes sense, that you'd rather be with somebody that hurt you compared to somebody that'll treat you good. And guys do it too. Like, guys do it too. We're too picky at sometimes. Oh, I don't like her because she's taller than me or something. Look, I'm 5'4". I can't be too much daggone picky. You know what I mean? Like I have, first of all, like I know a lot of women prefer guys that are taller, and that was one of my hiccups because I was a short dude. Because I had a lot of people tell me back when I was younger in school, they say if you wasn't short, I probably would have gone after you, and then that hurt too because it's like that's being 5'4", or I was shorter then. Like being short, that's not something that I was in control of, and it's like. So it does hurt, but at the same time, like I said, I can't be picky with myself because, I don't have a lot in the looks department. So it's like you learn to appreciate when you don't have things. So like even when I didn't have much dealing with girlfriends as successful as like my man did back in school, but I learned to appreciate it when I did get it. And then I asked God, I was like, look, just give me one shot. And the one shot was you. So, and then after that, we've been together for 17 years. So I made sure my shot counted, Yeah. I didn't, we go through our ups and grinds. I got my flaws, but I still just never, I want to make sure that shot was a good shot. And that's when I say, you got to stop being too picky sometimes, Yeah, she might be a 10. She might be, be top grade, you could, like a trophy case, like a trophy wife. But she might be the one that's sucking you out of your money. You know what I mean? She might be a gold digger, taking all kinds of money out your pocket. That's you don't got no money no more, she leave you. That happens. Same thing on the flip side, on the other side. Men do that too with women sometimes. Some men use women for their money and stuff, which is not right. So, but a lot of people overlook it because they're too picky about what they want. I think sometimes the best person for you is the one that's in the diamond in the rough kind of person. The one that you don't see his full gem yet until you learn to do the processes of getting all the extra elements off of that person, and then you really see the fine jewel that person is. When I first dated you, I used to call you Butterfly. Remember that? Because I saw you have flaws just like I have flaws, but I saw what you could have been. And that's the main thing. I saw what the potential that you could have been, which in my perspective, I think you are. The person who I imagined you that you could be when I first started dating you became the person who I think that I saw, the value of who you are is what I saw before you became who you were. And people need to just sometimes overlook the looks and see the jewel that's inside their heart. might be surprised. You know what I mean? Might be surprised what that jewel is. It might change your life so much for the better. I hope I changed your life for the better, because I definitely was a diamond in the rough. And people don't know, I wasn't even really her type neither, you know? But she took a chance on me, and here we are, you know? Mm-hmm. So stop being so daggone picky.
Me, you're like Jessica Rabbit, and
I'm definitely Roger Rabbit.
When people ask me, what do you see in him? He makes me laugh.
Yeah. So, you know, and that's the one thing I had. I said, okay, I don't have nothing in the looks department, but I know how to make somebody laugh. I used to make my friends laugh too. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Misha and Kara and all them, like back in high school. It's funny too, because I think I was like a real bipolar dude back in the day too, because Misha wanted to be my friend. I wouldn't let her until she annoyed me to the point that I was like, all right, you can be my friend. And then like now I love her so much, you know. Mm-hmm. And once in a while, me and her chat too, on the biblical sense too. Yeah. So shout out to her. Still going on strong after 20 plus years. She's still my friend.
Which is a great thing, beautiful thing.
Yeah. So people are picky, man. Stop being so picky.
Like, they have these standards, and it's like, yo, you can't be having, I want a Lexus when you still driving a Buick.
And you know what? It's just not only that perspective. Don't go too low either on your standards either. You know, like, you know, I think the best part is kind of like in the middle, where the person is not like below your standards to the point you're just settling to be with somebody, but at the same time, he has room for growth to be at a higher standard when you progress through your relationship.
I'm just talking about, like, for instance, like, I get annoyed with, say, females that like say that, oh, I want a dude that has a car, who has his own spot, but they still live with their parents, don't even have a bike to ride to school and back.
Well, that's true, but you know what? Here's the thing, and you know, to go against the grain a little bit, if they getting it and people are willing to give that to them, they're gonna keep doing it.
True.
So it's like, you know, that's what it is.
But it's funny, there'd be the same ones that be like, I can't find a good man. And
it's a catch-22. It's a really catch-22. So, you know what I mean? It's what it is. People won't do the things that they do unless they're getting it. And that's just facts. Regardless if it's something right or if it's something wrong. Like, if I go work at this job as a truck driver and I'm getting paid good money, oh, well, I'm going to keep doing it because I'm getting paid money.
Yeah.
And that's just a good side of it. But the other side is people sometimes use people to get what they want. Mm-hmm. And if they're getting it, they're going to keep doing it. Is it right? No, but it is what they do.
Yeah.
So it's what it is.
Like, give some dad advice for our young fellas out there. Because that's something I always see, like...
Why? Because of fatherless sons?
Yeah, because the thing is, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of them out there. And I think that's why they gravitate to, like, very, like... What is it? Metaverse, whatever it's called now. Like, I don't mind it. It needs to exist. But at the same token, there's so many variations of what's happening. And it's like, I think a lot of times guys do need that, like, dad advice, you know, because they don't have that, like...
Well, I think, like...
Or at least a positive, like, male type role model that, you know...
I think, especially guys who are in the struggle, boys who are, or young men who are in the struggle because they don't have fathers, I think even though their mothers tell them that they're beautiful and, you know, they were meant to be on this earth to do something great, it does hold weight when mothers tell their children that. But I think it still holds a greater weight when their father tells them that. You know what I mean? Like what's that? I can't remember that saying. Like, fathers, like, it takes a man, it's like a real man to raise, a real father to raise a child. You know, I forget what the saying is. You probably can find the saying, but it's like it holds more weight for a man to raise a son, to raise a son, because, you know, the son is growing up to be a man, and when you go with like nature, nurture versus nature, It's amazing. You see, as much times I know women try to raise these guys to be men, but they still take the nature of their father. You know what I mean? I'm a definitely prime example of that. When anyone can be a father, but it takes a real man to be a dad, right? So, but it's like it. I'm definitely a advocate for nature versus nurture. Like nature always will win. So like I'll be a dad. I'm just like my dad when I grew up. You know what I mean? Just like my dad.
Oh, so you mean nurture?
Yeah, nurture. Yeah. Because like no matter how much other people tell me, I end up just like a lot of times I followed the trace of my dad. And shout out to my dad, because my dad was always there with us as we was growing up. He wasn't somebody that left us. He stood with us from youth on up, and even still now, like a lot of the times I need advice, I get lessons from my dad. I can call him up. He lives across the street from me. I can go over there and talk to him. So like my thing is back to what you were saying. My advice to fatherless sons out there is you're still beautiful, and believe it or not, even though your father was not there are plenty of people out there you can go to that can teach you how to be a man. And I'm saying that because there's plenty of guys. You see a lot of artists out there. You see a lot of athletes out there that didn't have a dad with them. But you see them become something that's greater than they thought they would be when they grow up. And you can be that person too, regardless if you have a father or not. And you gotta understand how much value you have with yourself. You don't want to be somebody caught up in the streets because you didn't learn the lessons of the life from your dad. So you should get with people who are positive and people who are further along than where you are, and say, I want to be like that guy who's legit, not breaking the law, and a real man who knows how to handle his handle, and follow the examples of them. And there's a lot of guys out there who will give you that advice. You just got to go to it. I mean, I know it's upsetting that you lost your parents or whatever, but at the same time, there's other avenues that God has set for you that you can go to get that growth you need. Especially the church. Church is definitely, you should try, and you get a good advice from the reverend or pastor there,